JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the last trading day of this week, the first trading day of the second summer month, guys. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can visit just to find more information about ourselves here. Now then, guys, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, so everything is working out according to the plan. Because the idea, if you remember, I kept on talking about this one, and I said, and yesterday especially said that if we continue to trade below this 26,666 territory, then yes, we may go further south, and there we go. I mean, we ended up almost testing this this highlighted territory, which could be seen as the lower side of the lower side of this potential range pattern. So can we drift further south, guys? Now that's a good question, of course. If we break this highlighted territory, then yes, we'll go lower. But if we rebound, then of course this idea of seeing this as a range could still be valid, you know. So however, even if we do consider this one as a range, then basically I would like to see a push somewhere above this territory right there. So this is the highest point of this week, near the 27,062 territory. That's around the midpoint of this potential range pattern. Also, it coincides with the 100-day EMA, and a nice good break above that area may attract a few more buyers into the game. But at the moment, it's yeah, we're kind of approaching this one from the bears perspective. So yep, let's see if we can clear this highlighted territory right there. Shanghai Composite, guys, very quickly on this one. So yeah, it rebounded yesterday, as you can see here from this upside line, traveled higher but failed to stay above this 3,415 territory, and the index managed to remain above this upside line taken from the low of the 27th of April. Now I kept on mentioning this line. I said that if we if we somehow can respect it, although we disrespected it right here back on the 23rd and 22nd of June, nevertheless we climbed back up and we continued to respect it. So that's absolutely fine here. Now, if we wanna go higher, certainly I'm still waiting for the same barrier here, this 3,415 territory. A nice good pop above it may attract a few more buyers into the game. In terms of the downside, well, a break of the subside line and a drop, and either way, guys, I mean, the same analysis remains here. I need to see a drop below this whole area right here, where the highlighted zone is, the 3,357 territory. At the same time, this 200-day EMA as well could be nice. So yeah, a nice good drop below all that may attract a few more sellers into the game. The German index, DAX. Well, there we go, guys. We broke below, and actually, you remember yesterday I was talking about this when I said that we were already trading below that 12,812 territory. I said that if we somehow stay below it and we continue to trade below it, then yes, further declines are possible. And look at this, we drifted lower we made a move nicely southbound here, but failed to reach the lowest point of March here, but still okay. Still not all is lost here. So yeah, if we take a look at the cash index right now, and bear with me one moment on that one. The cash index is sitting at around 12,668, something like that. Yeah, roughly around 670. So 12,670. We're below basically yesterday's close, but still we're still above yesterday's low. Now, again, the month has ended, and this is the lowest point of June now. So the 12,618. So in order for us to go lower, we need to see that nice good drop below that lowest point of June, and then we could aim for that lowest point of March. For the upside, I would like to see at least a push back above, somewhere above this 12,912 territory. Let me just put the arrow here. So yeah, for the upside, that's what I would like to see here. But if we don't do that, then if we don't, let's say, stay above this barrier, like climb back up and stay above this barrier, then yes, I mean, maybe the downside scenario is still, still the main one to keep an eye on. IBEX 35, so the Spanish index. Okay, so I've mentioned this one, guys. I mean, from the beginning of this week I was talking about this one, and look at this. I mean, this is just a beautiful, beautiful range. So I talked about this one. I said that, look, I mean, we could see maybe a push up here, maybe a stall somewhere around here, and then if it holds, and we could see a drift back down, basically confirming a nice range here. So everything's kind of like that actually, and everything's confirming here. And what I also mentioned, if you remember in the beginning of this week, I said that, well, given that we're seeing a bit of consolidation, or let's say a range here a little bit, the prevailing trend was to the downside. We entered that one, and according to all the TA rules, this kind of should break out lower, but until we get that clear breakout, we cannot really get excited with further declines. And at the moment, well, it is yeah, it is it is kind of drifting. Well, it drifted already to the downside, but it's currently, let's say, sitting just above that lower side of the potential range here. Let's see if we can actually get a nice break through this area. If we can, well, the next target for me will be somewhere around here, this inside swing high of the 8th of March, near the 7,923 level, or even the next potential target is the inside swing high here of this 7th of March here, which is roughly around that 7,770 level. So yeah, good potential target here, but again, we need to see a confirmation break first. So that's why I will be very careful for now. Still, don't get me wrong, the upside scenario is not even off the table, because I mean, if it rebounded here from this area and then it's going to start pushing higher again, then maybe just we could wait for another a nice good pop above this barrier right here. But again, let's not rush into anything at the moment. Like I said, we're in the range. The prevailing trend was to the downside. According to all the TA rules, this kind of should break to the downside. However, we have seen the opposite thing happening, so always keep that in mind. Now, jumping into NASDAQ very quickly. Okay, so the NASDAQ drifted lower, and yeah, it moved nicely to the downside, reached this territory that I spoke about previously. I said that if we drop back below this 11,751 territory, then I'll aim for this these two levels right here, near the 11,358 and 423. We've reached those. Great, good achievement. Can we drift further south? Now that's a good question. Looking at the cash index right now, we'll see that we are, yes, we're trying to move lower. We're currently sitting at around 11,368 level. So basically we're in between the two levels right there. That of course kind of points more to bearishness. But can we overcome, let's say, yesterday's low here? Now that's going to be quite interesting. If we do, then yes, this arrow kind of continues to show the direction, the target that I'm aiming for here. So in general, I would say it's kind of working out nicely. So yeah, what I said before is I said that if we drop below this 11,751 territory, then yes, my next target could be this lowest point of June near the 11,037 mark. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average, similar story to be honest, so didn't really reach the downside line here, I would say, and we drifted back to the downside. Again, we're also moving lower right now in the cash index, so we're currently sitting at around 3,000, and let me just double check very quickly. 30,510 zones. So basically we are below some of these levels, and actually I think that a few adjustments have to be made here, guys. Let me just adjust this. So first of all, we'll mark the low of yesterday. Then I think this has to go here. Yep, this is how it should look, and I think this one is okay. So basically we are currently falling, as I understand. No, sorry, we're still above yesterday's low, but we're not far. We're still above yesterday's low here. So if you're looking for some lower levels, guys, probably the easier option and the safer option could be is to wait for a drop below yesterday's low right there, and then aim further south. DXY, the dollar index, so good push initially above that 105 territory, but look at this, at the end of the day it quickly drifted back down and remained below that 105 zone. So today you can see that we are today we rebounded a little bit, but found resistance near that 105 zone. So if you want to go lower, then I would say yes, let's keep an eye on this this 21-day EMA. And another thing, as long as it stays below the 105 territory, there is potential for this one to move to the 21-day EMA here. If it climbs back above this 105 territory and stays above it, then I'll aim for slightly higher levels. Gold. Gold is testing the psychological 1800 level, and I would say even breaking it. So the idea worked out. Okay, so the idea here that I've mentioned was that if we drop below that 1817 territory, my next target is the 1807. If that gets broken, then yes, further declines are possible. Boom, mission accomplished. That's great. Now what's next? I would say as long as it stays below that 1807 territory, I'll continue aiming lower. My next target here, it will be now this one right there, the lowest point of May, and that's roughly around that 1787 territory. So keep your eyes on that one. Like I said, I'll aim for that hurdle only if we stay below that 1807. If we somehow climb back above it, then maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. However, guys, today's Friday. Don't get me wrong, sometimes on Fridays we do get these one-way traffics, so it's if it's not going, let's say if you see that it's not going, just better exit it as soon as possible, and then and just try to find another potential entry points here. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out, but that's the outlook for now. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside on this one, so let's see if we can reach that 1787 territory. WTI oil, very quickly on that one. Look at this, beautiful decline yesterday, drifted back below this upside line, and this is the point where I can say that we can ignore this upside line because, well, basically it is not not working anymore. So we need to take these kind of moves. At the moment, what's working are the EMAs. Look at this, guys. I mean, we've traveled higher, we found resistance. We overshot the 21-day EMA, but it was a false breakout. Then we kind of got held there and drifted back down. This is where we found support near the 100 100-day EMA. Now, don't get me wrong, we might get an overshoot here. We still could drift lower because, in a way, my target is the. I'm gonna still stick to the same idea that, although we don't have the upside, I don't have the upside line here, but a drop below the 108.33 territory may open the door. Initially, I was saying that it may open the door towards that 100-day EMA, but if that gets cleared, the area near the lowest point of June could be next target at around 101.56. So at the moment we're halfway. Don't get me wrong, you might see a nice, like I said, even a false breakout could be nice here because we could drift lower, test this area, and then rebound and basically climb back above the 100-day EMA and stay there. So we've seen this happening, so let's be very careful for now. In order to consider the upside, now given this the importance of these EMAs right now, yes, we could wait for a push above that 21-day EMA push back above the 21-day EMA, but I would say I would prefer still, of course, I would still prefer to see a push above that highest point of 2011 near the 114.79 zone, and then we will take it from there. Bitcoin, very quickly on that, Bitcoin is, drifting lower. It did have an attempt today to push higher, but look at this, failed, and it's suffering right now. It's dropping back below this hurdle, this 19,892, roughly around there, or you can even round it up towards that 19,900 level if you want, but still what's important there is that that's the highest point of 2017, guys. That's the first rally that we had here, and that's the first peak. So we're currently balancing around it, and at the moment we're below it. Let's see if we can climb, maybe by the end of the day, climb back up. However, it's not really looking very well right now. AUD/USD, guys, so jumping into a few pairs, I talked about this, and I said that if we break this upside line, and in general what I was saying, that I'm waiting for a clear breakout through one of those trend lines here, and well, there we go. We got our breakout through this upside line, we drifted lower, and can we now drift further south, guys? Well, that's a good question. I would say there is a good possibility for that, and if we wanna go lower, then as long as it stays below this 0.6850 territory right there, I'll aim lower. At the moment, we're getting a hold up near the lowest point of May, which is around the 0.6829, something like that. Yep, there we go. Guys, like I said, if it stays below this hurdle, we'll continue aiming lower. AUD/CHF, now look at this. This one is just on a free fall, and at the moment there's no stopping. So initially we had to stop near this highlighted territory. I talked about this yesterday, so it worked out initially nicely, but I in a way, what I said, that I would like to see at least a push back above the 0.6620 territory right there in order to get comfortable with the upside. Well, look at this. We pushed higher a little bit. We didn't climb all the way there, and we're started reversing heavily to the downside. At the moment, we are breaking this highlighted territory, and in a way, I think that it's time to get rid of this, or actually, let's reuse it. Always reuse it. Always recycle, guys. This is going to be my target right now, and that's the lowest point of January of this year, or in other words, actually, I think the lowest point of this year, the current lowest point of this year, near the 0.6484 level. So good potential target right now. We're on the right track right now. Some of these levels have to go, but I think that I might reuse them right here. For example, this one can go somewhere around here. There we go. This can happen. This can mark this one, and this can mark that one. So this is a little bit clearer, and this is where the point probably where I'm gonna shift my upside scenario, maybe from around this level now. So not the 0.6620. Instead of this one, the 0.6594. So a nice good climb back above this may open the door towards some higher levels, guys. So keep that in mind. At the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside because looking at even at the weekly candle, guys, this is just tragic here for the bulls. However, it might present itself with a nice opportunity later on, somewhere around here, for the same bulls, so be patient. AUD/JPY drifting nicely to the downside, and if you remember, I talked about this potential descending triangle pattern from the short-term perspective, because from the more of a medium-term perspective, we're kind of still trading above this upside line. So from the shorter-term perspective, yes, we broke this this descending triangle pattern. We broke the lower side of it. Now the question is, I mean, can we stay today below it? Because the day here in Europe is just starting. Yeah, let's see how this is going to play out, because at the moment I'm being very careful. We got the move. If you manage to capture this drop here, wonderful, guys, perfect. But if you didn't, then I would say at least wait for the retracement, and if we do get the retracement, then keep your eyes on that hurdle, on that breakout area, which is roughly around that 92.95 level. And if we rebound here and push higher, but then let's say it holds, and then yep, if it holds, then another decline could be possible. So if you missed the move here, don't worry. I mean, there still could be an opportunity, but again, certain criteria which I just mentioned have to be met. USD CAD very quickly on that one. So yeah, this one just continues to flirt with that 38.2% retracement on Fibonacci. It pushes away from it, but then it comes back to it. It pushes away from it and then comes back to it. Again, it's pushing away from it. Can it go higher? Well, at the moment, the fact that it's pushing above this 1.2906 territory, that's kind of helping me out. So that's good. If it stays above it, then it's better. If it falls back below this hurdle, this midpoint between the 23 and the 23.6 and the 38.2, if it falls below this, then back. Again, I'm just observing this one, not doing anything. However, at the moment, it's becoming quite attractive, but can maintain that momentum here. Well, at the moment, yes, we overtook this 1.2906. Now the question is, what's going to happen near the 23.6 here? If we clear that, then we'll go higher. Or we should say we could go higher. One thing that you should not forget about here is that, you know, with all this Fibonacci thing here, you might probably miss out on something else here on USD CAD. So this is, let me just, I still need to kind of show you this, because I mean, you'll decide for yourselves, but yeah, it's still something that, you know, that might maybe interest you later on. So basically, at the moment, this could be seen as also as a descending triangle. So not something that's very bullish here, but yeah, again, we've seen such patterns breaking, you know, to the upside, and in general, maybe this is a thin line between the descending triangle and a possible pennant, maybe a bullish pennant. So who knows? Again, that's why I stick to my levels at the moment, because like I said, there's so much information here, and you can get easily lost in all this, because on one hand it could be a bullish sign, on the other hand it's not. So, you know, you get confused. But like I said, if you wait for if you establish your levels, wait for the confirmation breakout and just purely go from that. And of course, adjust your stop loss, guys. Have your stop loss in place all the time, and just if you didn't get it, that's fine. At least you kind of, you know, you protected yourself, and then you can, you know, go back to the drawing board and just kind of start fresh. Okay, USD/CHF very quickly on this one. So still flirting with this lower side of the potential range, or the so-called neckline. However, personally, I would like to see this as a range. I mean, this could become quite interesting for the upside, but yeah, we need a confirmation break. So I've drawn this downside line. In general, such a pattern here, can't remember what it's called, but with such a pattern here where we have a huge move to the downside initially, and then like over, let's say, several days, we just kind of drift lower slowly. We form this little downside line. These patterns tend to be quite bullish. However, a certain, of course, confirmations or certain criteria has to be made. We need to still see a break of the downside line. So, in other words, if you're looking for some higher levels, then a break of this downside line is needed. And yeah, we would need to see a push above this 0.9606 territory right there. So if we get a nice push above it, then yep, I'll go for I'll go for the upside, guys. For the downside, pretty straightforward. Again, the same highlighted territory. I'm keeping an eye on it in order to go lower. GBP USD, very quickly on that one. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but basically I have to admit that this is not really working out as I would like it to work out. So because we dropped below that 1.2162 territory, and I was kind of getting a little bit more excited with the downside. However, look at this, we drifted back up yesterday. We started kind of bumping around here, and to be honest, this whole level started not working. What I can look at here, I'll probably take a bit more simpler approach, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the current lowest point of this week near the 1.2092. If we drop below it, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, or actually a lower low for this week. But then we could aim for that lowest point of June here. With the upside, a push above the 21-day EMA would be nice. GBP JPY, so breaking the upside line, or actually you already broke the upside line, but yeah, it's drifting nicely to the downside. And most importantly, if you remember last time when I picked up on this pair, I said that in order for me to go lower, I need to see a drop below these two levels here, the 164.66 and 164.32, so basically this area between them, and we got that. So look at this, a strong move to the downside here. Everything's working out perfectly right now. So if you manage to capture this here, then congratulations. If you didn't, similar story as with which one was it? AUD JPY. Yeah, similar story with AUD JPY. Also, maybe we might see a bit of a retracement. Again, don't rush into anything. If you miss this train, don't try to jump on it. Maybe we'll get a bit of a rebound here, maybe. And if you see, for example, if it continues to trade below, somewhere below this 164.32 territory, then yeah, I'll continue aiming lower. GBP Aussie, very quickly on that one. This one's a little bit more positive, and well, this one is looking quite interesting because, as I said before to you when I picked up on this pair, I said that overall we're in a little range here, or a little consolidation. From the even a little bit more shorter term perspective, we could be forming here an ascending triangle. Who knows? But still either way, guys, if you want to go higher, a break of this barrier is needed. So this is roughly between the 1.78, 57 and 87 levels. So yeah, if we clear that, then I'll go a little bit higher. EURUSD. This one is again popping above this barrier. Like in general, this has been quite frustrating because it did move lower and it did move below this upside line. Briefly dropped below the 1.6678, but it was just a big tease here yesterday. So yep, it reversed sharply, and now it's look at this, it's pushing higher. The question is, can it stay above this area now? Well, at the moment it seems like it could. So that's why I'm aiming for the upside. Once it starts dropping back below this 1.6842 territory, right there, the highlighted one, I'll switch on my neutrality and just continue observing this one. But although it's a bit of a choppy one here, but still could be quite an interesting one. So let's see how all this is going to work out. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, this one is, well, this one's also annoying. So look at this. It dropped below the 1.0460 and then climbed back up. It made a move lower, but failed to reach the lower side here, this highlighted territory, the 1.0340, and yeah, it climbed back up. So this just kind of proves that this level is no longer valid. So now the only thing is probably the more reasonable thing to do is just to focus on the idea of maybe seeing a break below this 1.0340, because it seems that maybe we could be forming a descending triangle pattern here, like this one right there. So basically, while it's inside this pattern, it could just move up and down. So not really something that's quite exciting, maybe, unless you like to trade such scenarios. But yeah, be very careful for now, guys. I mean, this is just very unpredictable. So I'm gonna be waiting this one out, and to be honest, EURUSD is not the most attractive, interesting pair for me right now. But eventually, later on, once it starts, let's say, clearing one of these levels, one of these lines, let's say the downside, or either the downside line or this support zone near the 1.0340, once it clears one of those and stays outside of this pattern, then yeah, that's where it could become quite interesting. So that's it, guys, for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Once again, thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. So if you want to catch me tomorrow, tomorrow Saturday, Monday morning, as always, my traders Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe. Don't overtrade. Today's Friday, guys. Remember that we might see, some one-way traffic moves. Canada is closed today, so yeah, be careful as well. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.